Hey guys, Ralph here, and welcome to True Power Trumpet Fitness on this wonderful, wonderful Wednesday here in Connecticut. Life's good, man. Life is good. I love this time of year. Oh man, we've got at least 3 months of bliss up here in Connecticut. Anyway, yeah, you saw the thumbnail. An awesome, just a redonkulous trumpet day. A trumpet story that you are not going to believe. This is one of the best trumpet stories I've ever heard, and you got to hear it. So throw the pedagogy out for a day. Throw the tongue through the teeth, all that sort of stuff. Check this out. Anyway, I played a lot, so let's see if I'm toast. Let me honk a few notes, and we'll get to an awesome trumpet day. Anyway, after 2 hours of honking, hellacious double C's knocking off a couple of bugle calls, a bugle call, and not a mark anywhere. Anyway, the bugle calls, I haven't done those in 40 years when I did them with Mel. I told you all about that. I won't go into that. But one of my students is entertaining a career in the military bands, and we're going over the calls just the heck of it. Now, you're going to love this. Anyway, I'm going to read it right off the email, guys, so I get it all right. So I'm not paraphrasing, okay? But I had a very, very talented trumpet player come in Sunday. I had 2 guys from Boston that made the pilgrimage down and stayed a couple hours, and we had a great time. And this is not a Sunday. Usually I take Sundays off. And this other guy's name is Larry Moses. He allows me to use his name. If you are privy to what is going on in the New York freelance field for the last 30 years, you know the name. It's funny because we obviously ran in different circles at that time. We're right at the same time. Now, I got into teaching and was out of it for a long time, which is probably the main reason. But we never really hooked up. We decided there might have been a rehearsal band at some point. I don't know. I knew the name. I know the name. He knew my name. Anyway, he came in to try out some mouthpieces. He stumbled across the videos, the channel, just like all of you did. Just surfing the net. That's kind of cool. And the whole thing about not working hard really, really appeased him. He felt like he was working too hard pretty much his whole career. And now, he's about my age, now he's starting to have teeth and denture problems. And needless to say, all the work you're doing just doesn't work. It just doesn't work anymore. Now, I told him we've had, and we'll get to pedagogy, but there is one guy, Broken Wrench, and there's a couple guys that do a lot of comments. They're amateurs, but they've had extremely great success with the 1SB and with dentures. So at some point, if these things don't work, I'm going to put them in touch with them. It's pretty easy. It's pretty straight ahead from Broken Wrench's point of view. But anyway, so this guy, tremendous freelance guy. More of a, I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say a jazz, Latin, lead type of guy. I was more of a classical type, okay? But just a top freelance player. All the Broadway shows, the recording, whenever recording is there. And this happened to take place with the Thad Jones Mel Lewis Band. Okay, now if you know anything about that, you know, you young guys, that's the creme de la creme of big band jazz. It just is. And for years, I'm going to say 50 some odd years, they've had the Monday night Thad Jones and Mel Lewis at the Village Vanguard, which for the longest time was just the place to be on Monday night. The Broadway theaters were all dark. Most people weren't working Monday night, so either you were in the audience or you were playing with this band. Now, he had his regulars in the band, but a lot of subs, and to get that sub, I mean, this guy's is the equivalent of Monday night with the New York Philharmonic. They're just gonna run some stuff down. It'll be a performance, but they're just gonna run some stuff down, and you get subs. I mean, that's, if it was classical, that's the type of thing, the top stuff. Okay. Anyway, he was subbing with the band for a long time, and this story came about when he got a call. Now, let me explain. First of all, the mouthpiece is going good. He decided on the 1SS. We'll see. And this is how it started. On your vids, I saw you did a Doc tribute and a Herseth tribute. Great choices. I once went to Carnegie Hall in about '87, I would say, to listen to Bud from the audience. I think they were playing Scheherazade. And man, I was sitting in the nosebleed seats, and I could hear every attack and cut off, and as you say, sizzle. It was unbelievable. Eye-opening, the whole brass section, orcs were amazing. Great night. Now here we go. Quick related story. In 1977, I started doing subs on Thad and Mel's band, the Vanguard. And since my reading was up and had all of Thad's charts memorized anyway, I did a good job. Now think about that. Think about the gray matter. All of Thad's charts memorized? Okay. So I subbed there for a few months. All of a sudden I get a call from the road manager asking if I could fly to Wichita to replace one of the trumpet players who was leaving unexpectedly to join Basie, who was still on the road 40-something weeks a year. This tour Thad was doing was about 4 weeks. Okay, so it was a short thing. He's going out to Wichita the last minute to get on the band. Knew the tunes, got it. So I booked the flight, which was New York to Cincinnati to Chicago to Wichita. That in itself. Shoot me now. I don't want to ever be on the road again. Flight lands in Cincinnati. I changed planes there from the for the Chicago flight. Getting on the flight, now here we go, I was carrying a Bach case and a Getzen gig bag for my flugelhorn. I get on the plane, take 2 steps, and sitting front row in first class is Doc Severinsen. He looks at me, says the Getzen big bag. Now, Doc, I'm sure back in, maybe not, was still with Getzen. If he wasn't with him, he had been with Getzen for decades and was the face of Getzen Trumpet. So he smiles when he sees the gig bag and says, "Sit down, son." I was gassed and in disbelief. I was also very happy to say that when he asked me where I was off to, he said I was lucky to say that I was joining Thad and Mel. I mean, that sounds a lot better, man, than I'm going to visit my grandmother. I mean, I'm going to the Wichita County Fair, right? So, yeah, you get to say, Doc, yeah, I'm going out to meet Thad and Mel. I mean, right there you got it, man. I mean, the day could end there if you wanted to, all right? But it didn't, okay? Okay, where am I at? So I'm sitting there with Doc, and sure enough, he says, "Let me see your mouthpiece." Okay, Doc is nothing more than a trumpet nerd like all of us. A trumpet nerd, that's great, but he is just, I'm telling you, a trumpet nerd. 4 wives later, he's still, anyway. "Let me see your mouthpiece," which was a title at the time. He liked it, but I was just sitting there in shock about what was happening. He's sitting there, talking with Doc, one-on-one. After we're airborne for about 10 minutes of the flight, he goes, "Oh, by the way, Snooky and the guys are back in coach. Go say hi." So sure enough, he's hanging out with Snooky Young and Condi Gondoli. I mean, legends of legends. I mean, Ernie Watts, the tenor sax extraordinaire, Dick Spencer. I mean, it was amazing. Okay, the plane lands in Chicago. I get off to change for the Wichita flight, and I'm standing on the ticket line, still in shock, and I notice a guy in line ahead of me holding a Bach case. I walk up to him, and it was Herseth. I mean, can you make this up? You can't make this up. I know it's true because you can't make it up. Okay? It was Herseth. He was getting on the Wichita flight to do some clinics. I talked with him for a few minutes, but I could tell he was thinking about other stuff, so I didn't bug him. I did tell him that I saw Doc on the last flight, and he was grinning about Doc and saying that he thought he was fantastic. Big time respect. Okay? So he's hanging with Doc, Snooki, Herseth, Conti, Thad Jones, Mel. He gets to Wichita to play the gig. Who's playing lead? Earl Garner. I mean, he of legendary Saturday Night Live fame and all this sort of stuff. And check out who the featured soloist was. Clark Terry. Now, is that the greatest trumpet day ever? I just loved it. I'm reading this, and I'm on my email, and I'm sitting on my couch, reading this, and my wife's, on the couch, another couch next to me. And I'm going, no, oh, how cool. My wife, who edits all my books, knows more trumpet than most trumpet players, reads this and goes, oh, how cool. You got to do a video about this. So here I am. Larry, God bless you. Hang in there with the chops. I know this is going to work for you. And thanks for the subject of a great video. Anyway, we will talk tomorrow. Eat and drink fruits and vegetables and live your life with true power. Love you all.